Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's stream. For the stream tonight, we have a few guests. We have Bacon Chris right there. We have Tom, we have Ace, and we have Jack. So if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick and link your social medias, go for it. Chris, you can start. We lost Chris. All right. Well,
Guess
Tom, you can
I'll
kick it off.
start then. Hey everybody, follow me on Instagram at Toms_tracks99. I finally did that thing that I've been saying I was going to do for like 50 past streams. I'm actively posting, actively working on another post, so check that out.
Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about the technical.
That's all right, Chris. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, Bacon Chris here, and 2024 is going to be great with more Bacon Chris adventures, new stuff with you guys. Who's excited for the new year?
That's awesome. Jack?
My Instagram is themeparkpix55, and I am also very excited for the new year and what it will bring to the industry.
And Ace?
You can follow me on Facebook, Ace Car.
So this is the first stream of the new year, so Happy New Year, everyone. I know it's a little late.
Happy New Year.
Of course, we're in the much-hated off-season of the coaster season, unfortunately. So we'll start off by asking all of you guys here what you've been doing so far to fill the off-season, considering the void of amusement parks and roller coasters now.
Am I still first to go in the order on your end, Colin?
Yes, you are. Still,
okay.
You, Jack, Chris, Ace.
Wow, I don't think I've ever been first. This is groundbreaking. So I think you all know what I've been up to. Hockey games. I got another one Wednesday. I even got Colin to get to one, but that was before the off season started. Shout out to Colin for catching us 2 T-shirts. That was clutch. Yeah. Hopefully that'll be good. I'll actually be going to the Devils Flyers Stadium Series outdoors at MetLife, so that should be a great game. Get a bonus Jonas Brothers concert. So hockey will keep me busy while the roller coasters are down, but I might even try to go to American Dream because I still have yet to get those credits, and there's nothing else to ride right now, so might not be a bad idea.
Jack?
Wait, sorry, is my mic working now?
It's really
I can
quiet.
hear you.
You just sound very tinny.
I can barely hear you, yeah. You're really faint.
Let me try to think.
Well, here, we'll skip you for now and go to Chris and Ace and then come back. Chris, what have you been doing so far in the off season?
I've been busy with work at BJ's. I've been outside in the cold, pushing in carts, and I even shoveled snow too. But for fun, I'm planning on going go-karting on Tuesday. Yes, there will be another video and maybe Franklin Institute and stuff, but mostly work. You got to balance everything in life.
Of course. Ace, what have you been up to during the off
Just
season?
basic, working on my home and projects and getting ready for the 24 season because obviously with all the driving and all of the the cost of road trips, it definitely wears on you. So this is definitely always the rejuvenation period for me to get ready for March and all the way through December, obviously.
Right. Jack, were you able to fix your mic?
I think so. Is this better?
Yeah, it's better. That's better.
Okay. I've been just working pretty much every day since last day of Great Adventure on New Year's. And that is also the plan for most of the rest of it, along with school.
Yeah, pretty much the same over here, just hanging out, doing school, getting through it. I am going to say, though, if you guys are in the chat, feel free to send some questions in. We have a couple topics we're probably going to discuss prior to getting to the Q&A part of the stream. Then after we're done with that, we're going to go from the earliest messages to the last messages in terms of questions. So be sure to send those in. I do want to ask you guys, though, because obviously this has been something we've all been thinking about for a while now. We're looking at Great Adventure, getting ready for the 2024 season. There's going to be a lot of stuff underway for preparations for such a big season. When do you guys think Flash will wind up opening?
I like to take my time and think on these types of questions, but I'm first. So, geez. I really, really want to hope that we will get a July 4th opening. But at this point, excuse me, at this point, I do not know. It concerns me that as far as we know, ground hasn't been broken yet. But I don't know. I really want to say July 4th, and I don't want to be wrong, but I think I'm wrong.
Jack?
I think I would probably have to agree with Tom. It's probably going to be July 4th time, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, in your last update, it didn't really look like much work had happened over there. So I definitely not with the start of the season, probably not Memorial Day, maybe mid June we would see like membership or pass holder previews, but I don't think earlier than June.
Chris?
I think with Flash Vertical Velocity, it's probably going to have to be, unfortunately, will have to be after July 4th because Six Flags Red Adventure hasn't been making too much progress. Plus, besides construction, they need some time with state inspection, testing, training, and the ride manufacturer has to ride the coaster first. So we know who's the first. It takes a lot of time, too.
Ace?
I'm having trepidation about this opening. I would have to say sometime in August in time for Thrillathon 2024.
Personally, I guess I'm in the minority out of the group here. I think that it could be ready by Memorial Day weekend. Look at a ride like Good Gravy at Holiday World, which is Vekoma Family Boomerang. Obviously, it's definitely a smaller ride than Flash at Great Adventure, but same manufacturer. And honestly, the number of supports between the two rides, it's not a giant difference in terms of actual footers that need to be poured. That ride went up in less than 20 days in terms of vertical construction, and then started testing very soon after that. Now, Flash, obviously, we can't see the full extent of construction while the park is closed. But if I had to guess, they're probably going to do vertical construction during the off season. So I would not be surprised at all if by the time we get to opening day on March 16th, we're going to see supports and track in place, or at least supports. As for going from there, I could see testing March, April, May, maybe. And then I could see it opening May, June, July 4th at the absolute latest. I'd be honestly very surprised if it didn't open by July 4th. But that's just me.
I guess that's the wild card, and that's something I didn't think about when I was giving my answer. But it depends on how quickly they can throw this thing up. It doesn't look like a lot, so that's why I remain cautiously optimistic that we see this thing up by Independence Day. That would be huge.
Yeah, that's definitely reason for optimism. I forgot to allude to that, and that was a great analogy with the Good Gravy and Holiday World. That is true. It's not that much smaller than the Flash. So yeah, let's see what happens in January.
Iron Menace seems to be, the lift hill is already completed, and they already completed the MLN, and I see that the construction workers have been putting up the permanent fences around the Iron Menace area. Should be
that
open.
Ride, the construction for it has moved along really fast. I mean, I'm still surprised that they got construction going so early, considering the park doesn't open until May. I guarantee that Iron Menace will be ready for opening day of Dorney Park. There's no question about that. They're definitely on track for that. So personally, I think, honestly, Iron Menace, if Dorney Park opened earlier in the year, I'd say it would definitely open before Flash. But we kind of have to wait and see what happens with Flash. It could open after Iron Menace. We just got to wait and see, though.
We already know what's going to open in May.
What is that?
Half Roll 2. I
That's
already
right.
seen them testing.
And it's having preview days at the end of not August, April as well.
April.
Yeah.
Oh,
You gonna
yeah.
go out there for that, Ace?
No. I have I'm still trying to conjure up my Texas Missouri trip, to use my flyer miles and stuff. So that's the trip of 24. And then now that I had bad news about Coaster Stock not being held this year via Bob, I'm just gonna go straight out and just go to Kings Island and see the points probably sometime in May. Probably make at least one trip or maybe two trips out there.
Yep. I'm planning on going to Cedar Point in either May or June.
Yeah.
And I bet you guys don't know how far Cedar Point is from Jersey. 8 hours.
8 hours.
But
Yeah, it's
for
not a
me,
bad drive.
me, it's 7.5 hours.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Nice.
Yeah. Take the I-80. And it's toll free, which is great. So it seems like it's like shorter when you're like right in the zone to get there. I'm so used to that drive. I've been doing that drive for 10 years, since 2013. So it's like a layup drive for me compared to going to Florida or Texas or all the way out there to Gurney, Illinois, or Six Flags Great America.
Yeah. So I think now we can probably start going through the chat, looking at some of your questions you guys sent in. So I'm going to start at the top and start looking for questions here. Is Sammy joining tonight? Sammy will not be joining tonight, though. As you can see, he's a very active participant in the live chat. Let's see. Lots of hellos. Hello. Welcome, everyone, in the stream. Here's a one for Tom. Tom, who's your favorite and least favorite hockey players of all time?
Well, favorite and least favorite. Least favorite is Sean Avery, formerly of the New York Rangers. Guy's a scumbag. Favorite all-time Devil, I'm going to go Claude Lemieux. And if we're going non-Devils, give me Joe Sakic.
Interesting. And no idea who any of those people are. Jack, what is your favorite photo ever in all of time?
My favorite photo ever. I can't say that I have one. I really enjoy a photo I took of, I think it was one of the rides at Busch Gardens Tampa, where there was like a nice sunset behind it.
I know you had a lot of good pictures at Throw-a-thon of all of us acting like buffoons.
Yeah, there were a lot of those.
Let's see. Colin, ready for Nemesis Reborn? Passports and flights all ready for that big trip? Yeah, I think that trip could definitely be really good. You got Alton Towers out there, of course, reopening Nemesis with the new track. You got Thorpe Park opening Hyperia, which looks absolutely insane. And you have a bunch of other parks. You got Blackpool Pleasure Beach. What else you have out there? Chessington. Probably more I can't think of.
Oh, Adventure Island. There's Adventure Island over by an ocean too. But it's not that water park in Tampa. There's literally. Did you ever watch that show called The Amazing World of Gumball?
Yeah.
There was a scene where they ride Gumball and Darwin ride a roller coaster, and the creators decided to use a scene from Adventure Island where they ride that coaster.
That's cool. Let's see. Next question. Tom, what player, past or present, would you want to have dinner with?
I did have dinner with Ken Danico, actually, and if by dinner you mean a passing beer that only I was drinking while he walked by, like a 5-second encounter, I guess you could say I've had dinner with a player. But in all seriousness, probably Chico Resch. He's got the best stories.
What is everyone's most anticipated coaster this year? We'll start with Ace and work our way backwards this time.
Mine's personally, the most anticipated, obviously, is Top Thrill 2 at Cedar Point.
Chris?
Mine's going to be Maverick at Cedar Point. My favorite coaster of all time at the park.
No, I think he means new coaster.
Oh, new coaster. Okay. Iron Menace, because I like B&M. It's my favorite manufacturer.
Jack?
My most anticipated coaster, does this include ones we're going to ride or just any coaster that's opening?
Any.
Probably Top Thrill 2. I'm really looking forward to that because Top Thrill Dragster was great. So it'll be great to see that open.
Yeah,
And Tom?
give me Top Thrill 2 as well. I just can't wait to revisit Cedar Point and also the Ohio parks in general. And you know what? If we're not going to lump in new for 24, I'll take Velocicoaster because I think this is the year that I finally get out of my way and get to Florida.
Nice.
Yeah, if I'm talking about like new for just me riding it, I at the moment have plans to probably ride what's it called? It's the one at Park Asterix, the new
Totalis.
Yeah, Totalis, the new like Intamin one. That's probably the coaster I'm most looking forward to ride.
That's cool. Personally, Top Thrill 2 definitely is not my most anticipated. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad ride, but I'm just not as excited for Top Thrill 2 as I am for other rides because I think there's other more unique additions out there. Personally, I think in America, the two most exciting ones are the two big Vekoma projects, being Flash at Great Adventure and Circuit Breaker at Codaland. Of course, we don't know if Circuit Breaker is actually going to open this year. I'm really hoping it does because that layout looks great. Hopefully it does. If not, though, I do think the new coaster at the Mattel Adventure Park in Glendale, Arizona looks really good. We don't really know too much about it, but given that it's going to be the same model as Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom, I think it definitely has some heavy potential there to be a really good ride. And I know some people are wondering about international coasters. Honestly, Falcon's Flight kind of comes close to the top just because I'm really intrigued by it. They haven't said if it's going to open in 24 or 25. I wouldn't be surprised if it opens in 24. But we'll have to wait and see. And we're going to have to pause this conversation for a second because Tom hit the horn.
Oh boy, had it ready.
We got a super chat from John Gray. Thank you, John, for the super chat. So after riding Velocicoaster last week, I can definitely say it's number 1 on my list. 2 Iron Gwazi, 3 Steel Vengeance, 4 Maverick, and 5 Hagrids. That's a good top 5. Velocicoaster, Gwazi, and Vengeance are also in my top 3. And Maverick is, I think, top 10 or top 15, one of the two. It's another really good ride. And Hagrid's one of the best family coasters ever made.
Yeah, that's 3 of my top 5. Yeah, definitely.
Vic and Chris, what do you think about that top 5?
Oh, that's a good list. And I gotta like to tell you, 3 of those coasters out of the top 5 are going to be on my top 25 list video coming soon to YouTube.
It's awesome. Next up, the people who live in New Jersey / PA got really lucky with coasters this year. That we did. I mean, Iron Menace and Flash are 2 of the biggest coaster additions across the whole country. I mean, 2024, honestly, is kind of a light year for big new additions. At least, again, in America. Overseas, it's much bigger. But I do think we got some pretty good coasters coming to our area next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And
your favorite coaster, Great Adventure? I think everyone has the same answer to that.
Medusa?
No, definitely not Medusa for me.
No.
Definitely El Toro.
Yeah.
Medusa's fun, but
yeah, I would have to agree with El Toro.
El Toro's on the list.
Yeah.
Where is it on the list?
I was going to say that I'm definitely looking forward to, obviously, when you talk about a new coaster, the Iron Menace, especially on the East Coast. I'm looking forward to that for this year.
Let's see. Tom, if you could wish the Clint...
I'll help you. If you could wish the Clint Malarchuk, Richard Zednick treatment on any player, who would it be? Oh, God, that is a very morbid question. For all you youngins, and I say that having also not been alive when this happened, you could totally find footage of the Clint Malarchuk incident, which involves a goalie taking a skate to the jugular. He survived it, by the way, which is insane. I don't know if in good conscience I could wish that on anybody, unless their name was Sean Avery. Next question.
Another question from Brian. Ace, how's the family? How many coasters are you going to hit this summer?
Family's good, and I don't know, actually. It all depends on what's open when I do my road trips and whatever road trips I decide to do. I know I'm definitely doing the Texas-Missouri road trip, but I got to see what happens with Disney and everything else. if they rescind the hopper pass rules and the disgusting reservations rule that they have.
Yeah. Well, Disney, I'm pretty sure they just rescinded the whole hopper pass thing where you can go whenever you want now.
Yeah, so that's definitely an option. I add at least 3 more credits to what I want to get. Definitely want to get the 600 this year with all these coasters, these new coasters on the East Coast.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What are your 3 favorite parks besides Six Flags Great Adventure? Well,
That's
for
easy.
me personally, I don't think Great Adventure is in my top 3. But my 3 favorites would probably be actually I gotta pull up the list. I can't really remember right now, honestly. I know Silver Dollar City is number 1, that's for sure.
Cedar Point.
I don't know if I have Cedar Point in the top 3, honestly.
Kings Island.
So
Kings Island.
all right, this is mine. So it's Silver Dollar City, Universal Orlando. I kind of consider studios and islands as one, but even if you just look at islands, I'd say it's up there. And kind of a tie between Busch Williamsburg and Busch Tampa. They're pretty much neck and neck for me. Right after that, though, is Kings Island.
Yeah, that's easy because I've been to I think I've been to Magic Mountain at least 9 trips since 2006. So it's definitely a tie between Kings Island and Magic Mountain. And then number 3 is easy, Hershey Park, which is no longer underrated. It's just great because they have the best coaster collection in the country, if not the world. It's like our version of Energylandia of the United States.
Yeah, definitely. They really have built up
Oh
their
my
coaster
God.
collection over the last 10 years
Jesus
to
Christ.
something that's a force to be reckoned with.
Oh yeah, and they still have probably another B&M coming. It's definitely going to be a couple of coasters coming in the next 4 years. That park is just have oodles of people. They easily break 4 million in gate per year.
Yeah, definitely.
SeaWorld Orlando's good too.
Yeah,
they're a solid park.
Yeah, Busch Gardens, Tampa.
Do you think King Dakar will be open on opening day? I
Yeah.
see no reason
I
for
think
it not
so.
to be. It's been open on opening day every year for the past few years now, so I see no reason for it not to.
Yeah, unless there's inclement weather.
Yeah.
Which one didn't that happen 2 years ago?
That happened in 2023, and that didn't make a difference.
Oh yeah, that is true.
And Tom, this looks like a question for you. Have you ever gotten to go on the Devil's Ice?
Yes, I have. I actually, there's a few like things I'm trying to do in the arena, like get on the ice, meet players, whatever. I accomplished get on the ice the game after my birthday where the Devils got humiliatingly blown out by the Blue Jackets. I at least got on the ice, so that was the one saving grace.
Good.
That's good. Let's see. Do you think El Toro will be open for opening day? Again, see no reason for it not to be. I know it's been a while since it has been open for opening day. Well, actually, it was 2022, but I imagine they're doing some light retracting here and there over the off season, but nothing that'll keep it closed into the main season.
I remember last year, I remember when they closed like sections of the park and said, "Oh, Medusa Frontier Adventures will be opening in Memorial Day weekend, and then June will be El Toro."
Yeah, let's just hope that they retract that that turnaround, the jackhammer part that literally destroyed my back in October. It took me a month to recover from that one. On row number 16, I would not advise a wheel seat on Toro. Get on the non-wheel seats. 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, the best row ever, 17.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Let's see.
17's hauling and smooth.
Got to see Iron Menace today. They've begun construction on the Zero G roll. That's awesome.
Good.
Like I said, very excited for that ride. I mean, personally, B&M dive coasters aren't really my favorite model of coaster. The only ones I really like are Sheikah and Griffin because they're the ones without the vest restraints. But I still think Iron Menace is a really good fit for Dorney, and it's going to attract the GP like crazy because they go nuts for a ride like that.
Yeah, that ride is going to be our ride I'm definitely greatly anticipating. Definitely looking forward to riding. Greatly anticipated. The Iron Menace, of course. But that's going to be our Iron Menace of the East Coast when you look at it. I'm excited about the 7 seats. a parole,
You mean
and
the
even the
Dr.
height
Diabolical
and the
of the
95
East
degrees.
Coast, right?
What about Dr. Diabolicals?
You mean the Dr. Diabolical of the East Coast, right?
Yeah, it's going to be our Dr. Diabolicals on the East Coast. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
That
Look
segues
solid.
well into this question here. Which coaster will be better, Iron Menace or
Oh,
Flash Vertical Velocity?
They're both going to be
Chris,
good.
I'm curious what you think.
Maybe Iron Menace because hopefully the Flash is, I predict Flash will be clones, and it's already one clone.
Right. What do you guys think?
I think Flash will be the more unique ride. It just depends on how the airtime shakes up, because I think there's more potential with Flash, but it's very possible that Iron Menace could be better.
Yeah.
I think personally Flash will be better, but that also comes from the fact that I'm not a huge fan of B&M dive coasters. Ace, what do you think?
I believe both are going to be like equally good. None's going to be better than the other. It's I know Flash is a unique coaster, and Iron Menace is obviously like a cookie cutter coaster, because there's so many dives now with Emperor and Dr. Diabolicals, and you got the other giant dive coasters. So yeah.
Jack?
Yeah, I'd agree there. I think they're both sort of going to be good in their own way. Like Iron Menace, from a lot of like capacity standpoint, especially Iron Menace is going to be a lot better, just because they can send trains out. I mean, I guess it's a similar amount, but who knows? And I think it's going to be really interesting, especially at Dorney, where they haven't gotten a new coaster to just have any new coaster. So that's why I think that's going to be really exciting. And then Flash looks like, for overall like intensity wise, I think it's going to be better.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Here's a good one. I got a GoPro for Christmas. Do you have any tips on filming with it and using it in general? So right off the bat, the vast majority of amusement and theme parks do not allow on-ride filming with a camera of any kind. Any park in the Six Flags chain, Cedar Fair chain, most chains, pretty much every park except for SeaWorld parks and the Disney parks do not allow you to film on-ride. SeaWorld parks, as long as you have a chest mount or the hand mount that I use, some of them do require you to get checked at guest relations first, but for the most part, you are fine to film at those parks. Disney, I haven't been to in 8 years now, so I can't really give an accurate description of what they allow and what they don't allow. But Jack, you were there pretty recently, right? How are they with ride filming at the Disney parks?
You on some of the newer rides, on Guardians and Tron specifically, they are a little more strict with filming. But on every other ride, you can film with a GoPro. I've seen a lot of people just film with their phones, which I would not recommend, but they don't seem to be stopping anyone there. But I believe on Guardians and Tron, you aren't allowed to film at all. Specifically on Guardians, there's a certain point that they say no more filming even before you get on the ride. Like right before the pre-show, you can't film anything. But then every other ride in the resort, pretty much you can film the whole thing with anything.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that, especially SeaWorld, because I've been to Busch Gardens, Tampa quite a few times, and I'm already made 2 trips with Iron Gwazi opening, one without just looking at it and not being able to ride in 2021, which was my Universal Studios trip for the first time in 10 years. And when I saw so many people with the chest mount, that was pretty cool. The chest mount camera, getting on Iron Gwazi. I like that sight.
Absolutely. Next up, personally, I could see Flash opening by mid-April. That's bold. I don't think personally it will make it by mid-April, considering that we haven't seen vertical construction really kick in yet. I do think May, towards the end of May, is probably a safer bet, but hey, I'd be all for it opening that early.
Oh, absolutely. Hell,
You know.
if you could open on opening day, that would be everybody's wish list. That'd be awesome.
What is Colin thinking? Question for everyone but Colin.
Well,
Tom?
I'm thinking Colin is cautiously being. What am I trying to say here? He's trying to make sure that no one gives a really dumb answer, despite the fact that I am literally doing just that.
There you go.
I would agree with Tom.
Chris, what do you think?
Yeah. Colin's thinking about what exciting things are going to happen in the year 2024, and he's wishing that right now he can ride some coasters, do more videos.
You're right about that. Ace.
Yeah.
Well, Colin is absolutely thinking about, first and foremost, the 24 season. That's going to begin for all of us in the Northeast in mid-March, when Great Adventure opens. And also, obviously, the big year is graduation. It's high school graduation. So that's the big one.
Yep.
I think you're excited for the Funplex.
I still haven't been down there yet.
Oh, wow.
Coaster credits.
Yeah.
I could see Flash opening tomorrow. I think that's a pretty good guess. I think it'll be ready for tomorrow. Let's see. For everyone, if you played hockey, what position would you play? Thomas, more of a you question.
Probably. You know what, defenseman? I would love the minutes. That would be good.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think I'd be more of an offensive person there for hockey.
I would be the person that skates on and cleans the shaved ice on the rink.
Being the ice girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely be a goalie. It's the easiest part. I don't got to do much but just use my wide body and just block the goal. Yeah, exactly. I can just, what is that what you call Tom? I've still been trying to get that why what's this guy, the great one, had an easier time than now. You said no, he had a harder time than now, right? Because what they do with the goalie widens out his body.
You mean being a goalie is tougher these days because versus pre the 80s where they would just kind of stand there and not really butterfly as much. Yeah, that's probably
yeah. Do they butterfly now? They butterfly a lot now?
That's like the standard, butterfly style goalie. That's pretty much the standard.
You're gonna laugh at the position.
Easy. Oh, okay.
Let's hear it, Chris.
The puck.
The puck.
Wow. Oh. Wow.
It'll probably be fun.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll just be referee.
Wow.
Make sure everyone's a good sport.
What will open first, Epic Universe or Barnstormer?
Epic Universe.
Epic Universe.
I don't know. I'm counting on a Barnstormer opening day being March 16th. We'll see. I mean, that ride, it's an interesting whole situation that it's gone through ever since it was first put up. I know the park wants it open. I know they plan to have it open in 23. It almost happened. But if you have noticed, the Air Safari ride, the little planes ride that's pretty much right next to it, has also been closed. And I'm pretty sure both of those not being open are related. I don't really know much more than that, quite honestly, though.
Wow. Jeez.
I'll let Sammy take his little plug here. Who's riding Equinox this year? For those of you that don't know, Sammy and Grant, Hershey Park enthusiasts, are building a new coaster out in Pennsylvania. Very similar to Sammy's first one, Black Stallion, just with an extra hill, but looks a lot of fun. Here's a hot take. I'm assuming you're saying Flash below Medusa?
I'm reading that as Flash will be better than Medusa, which
that's hard.
It definitely will be.
Yeah, if that's the case, yes. If you mean to say that Medusa will be better than Flash, sure, hot take.
Yeah, that'd be a hot take.
More inversions.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I'm a huge fan of Medusa.
More inversions, yeah. I like how many times you go.
I think it's more about the quality of the inversions as opposed to the quantity, personally.
And you get some excellent hang time too, even though no pun intended to Cophead Strike. hang time and knots, but you do get some nice hang time, especially on that large hill. I mean that large loop.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it, especially in the back seat. You got to be in the back seat to get that hang time. You get to eat it up. Be in that back seat.
Let's see. Next up here, will Top Thrill 2 be better than Millennium Force? So
No.
I'm someone who thinks that Dragster, original Dragster, is better than Millennium Force. And I don't really see Top Thrill 2 being better than Dragster. So I'm going to say no, but I'm not sure about that yet.
I would
What do you
also
guys
say
think?
no.
No?
Put me unsure, leaning towards no.
No. I've ridden a Millennium a million times to the point that I'm bored with it now because you got all these new machines of coasters that's come out in the last decade. So no, Millennium is still a classic. It still will definitely get your adrenaline going.
So I'm going to pause real quick here. I'm going to give you guys a question while I go get rid of my ice cream here. So for those of you that haven't seen it yet, I made a video recently about where I think Flash will wind up ranking in the lineup of coasters at Great Adventure. So I want to know where you guys think it will wind up ranking in the lineup of Great Adventures coasters.
I am going to say it'll place 5th. Just potential for 4th. Either way, I think your top 3 is Toro, Ka, Nitro in any order. That's my particular ranking of it, but give or take. And then it's a question of will it be better than Devil? So I think Devil and Flash will be 4 and 5, and then put Batman at 6 just to go a little beyond. But I think it'll be 4th, 5th best in the park.
Yeah, I'd say also it would be the 4th best in the park. I think it'll definitely be over Jersey Devil, at least for me, and over Medusa. But my top 3 will still be Toro, Ka, Nitro. Yeah, Chris,
Yeah,
what do you?
definitely top 6. It could go up as high as I definitely concur with you guys. It could probably go up to number 4, but most likely number 5. Obviously, it's not going to go in the top 3, which are Toro, Nitro, and Ka.
I think El Toro's 1, Ka is number 2, and then we'll say Superman's free because it has longer lines. And then 4 will probably be Nitro.
Well, I heard little bits and pieces of what you guys were saying. But yeah, personally, I'm predicting it's going to be number 5 at the park with potential to go up to number 3 depending on how it winds up running. Let's see. Where was I? I was right here. Tom, ignoring the Devils and Kraken, what would be the best NHL team to theme a coaster to?
Here, you know what? This is going to be... I don't know. You guys tell me, is this an unconventional way of thinking or a really lame way of thinking? So you have the Colorado Avalanche, right? Formerly Avalanche at King's Dominion. They already went and did that.
True.
Does that sound lazy? I don't know.
Well,
but
I think Red Wings could work good as a coaster.
That could also look at you, Colin. Pretty nice. I mean, that's pretty good. Flyers, duh, that's easy.
Yeah.
Flyers, Red Wings, Avalanche, pretty easy. The themes write themselves.
Yeah, some definitely better than others.
Oh, you know what? You forgot one. The Canadians. That'll be a nice one.
One of these Canadian?
Yeah, because you got the what do you got? You have Montreal, well, Six Flags La Ronde, and you also have Canada's Wonderland. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but those are all in Montreal, and they wouldn't. Oh wait, you're saying
Six Flags La Ronde. Six Flags La Ronde, then, right? Six Flags La Ronde could have. That would be nice.
It would be a ride that's 3 minutes of telling you how many cups they've won, when in actuality it hasn't been in forever.
24 cups. They won 20. They still stuck on 24 while our Yankees with the 27 because they used to have the universe record until we blew right past them with our 3-peat.
Right,
I know you know that, Tom.
We're going to move on to the next question, which is Ryan joining? Ryan will not be on tonight's stream. When do you think Flash's Media Day will be? The day before it opens for preview days, more than likely.
July 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you think Flash will be top 3 in the park?
No.
No.
Oh.
No.
I think at best it could be 4th.
I don't know. I mean, I could see it maybe topping whatever you consider the 4th best in the park, whether it's Devil, Ka, or Nitro, maybe. But going higher than that, it's a very high bar to clear. Let's see. Oh, Tom, get the horn.
Oh, I got it.
No, I got it.
Oh.
Just have it ready to go.
Double horn. Thank you, John, for the super chat.
Here we go. Oh, you beat
So
me.
not sure if anyone heard the rumor that Simpson Land contract expires in 4 years, and Universal probably won't renew and let it go to Disney, and the replacement could be Pokemon. So I actually heard that they are not renewing the contract, and Simpsons Land will be closing, I think, as soon as 2025, from what I remember hearing, if I'm not mistaken. So they have a couple Simpsons rides at Universal Studios, Florida. They, of course, have Simpsons the Ride. They have the little spinning flat ride as well. I think that could definitely very easily be rethemed to like Pokemon, but I think Pokemon really deserves a much bigger land than just a little rehash of a couple older rides. So I could see them going with a less popular IP. I'm not sure what that would be. But I think I would rather see Pokemon have a larger presence in the parks than just a small land like that. I know they already pretty much did that, or they're planning to do it with Zelda, where Zelda might take over the Lost Continent over at Islands, which isn't really a very big area anyways, and they would kind of just retheme some of the attractions that are already there. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, this is definitely going to be an interesting development, and I'm curious to see if Disney winds up building anything based on The Simpsons, which personally I'm going to guess probably not, judging off the fact that they try to stay more kid-friendly. Like the most extreme franchises they'll go for is like Marvel or Star Wars, which really are not very extreme at all. So
yeah,
we'll
they
see.
got to move. I was going to say they got to move the Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man and then Doctor Doom over to Disney World.
Well, they can't do that because Universal has the contract. They have licensing for all Marvel Comics characters east of the Mississippi River.
Oh, good.
I
So
will have
Universal will be
to.
holding on to that.
I will have to get it together to get to Florida then, because since I was very little, I always wanted to ride the Simpsons ride. That is like the ultimate bucket list thing I got going right now. So I will have to act fast.
That was the one major ride I skipped when we went to Universal because I knew it wasn't very good.
Oh, I know it's not going to be good. It's just like that was
I
one.
didn't feel like waiting for it because I'm not really a huge Simpsons fan anyway.
Oh, I give me like all the early Simpsons, but like I realized it is not a good ride. But ever since I learned that there was stuff other than Great Adventure, I'm like, I want to go on that one. So I will have to move.
You should have saw Chris when we were at the Simpsons area. He had like Simpsons shoes on and Simpsons shirt on. He was going crazy for it. It was pretty funny.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wait, I was wearing Simpsons shoes?
No, Chris.
No, not
no,
you,
Chris.
Chris.
Your
Our
father's
other friend,
friend.
Chris.
Your other friend, Chris.
Chris V.
That's pretty cool. Chris V. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, because you probably saw in one of my Baking Chris adventures, I did wear Universal Day 2, I did wear a Simpsons shirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's probably I thought you saw me in wearing a Simpsons shirt, and I did wear a Simpsons shirt, so I thought I would bring that up. True story.
Cool. Well, Chris, we actually have a question for you from Sammy. What is your favorite BJ's location?
Well, basically, my location is like I'd rather not give out my location.
Yeah, no, you don't have to say where you are.
I stop at Maple Shade. BJ's on my way to go to Great Adventure to get gas. So you guys know that I'm not I don't live in New Jersey. I live in Philadelphia.
Yep.
So that's why I, get Maple Shade gas,
You prefer to have your gas pumped by someone else, or do you prefer pumping it yourself?
Well, so I would prefer having someone pump it for me because sometimes I don't feel like getting out the car and, washing my hands and touching the gas pump. And it's too cold to get outside too.
If you did watch the Bacon Chris New Year's Eve special, you would know that question was answered.
Well, I guess I have to catch up on my BCAs. I don't know. Personally, Chris, I prefer pumping my own gas, but I guess that's what I get for living in New Jersey. Anyways, though, moving on to the next question. Colin, do you think you will do a Europe trip this year? I would definitely like to, especially this year because there's a lot of really exciting coaster editions all across Europe. The two highlights, of course, being Hyperia and Voltron. Those two look like some of the best coasters ever. So, I don't know. We'll see what the year holds. I mean, there's a lot going on this year between Great Adventure and my personal life, so we have to see what happens this summer.
Oh, I guess I can redo my question from earlier. I forgot about Hyperia. That's at Thorpe Park, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm more excited for that as a 2024 edition.
It looks insane.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you think Nitro will get that repaint that was rumored? As of right now, I'm gonna
not now.
guess that it's been postponed to the 2024-2025 off season. They just have a lot going on during the 2024 season that they have to prepare for. In my opinion, if they weren't getting Flash, because as we know, Flash is a last-minute addition, they probably would have gone ahead with the Nitro repaint. But because there's an extra, I guess, workload that comes along with having to build Flash, they're probably not going to have enough manpower to be able to do both Flash and a Nitro repaint. And I imagine the budget, of course, too, would prohibit them from spending that much. So I think we're going to have to wait a little bit for Nitro's repaint, unfortunately. Colin, you're going international this year. Like I said before, we'll have to see what happens with everything. I mean, it's going to be a big year, so we'll have to wait and see. Bacon Chris, what's your favorite coaster ever and ever and ever and ever forever?
Well, you're going to be seeing my top 25 soon. And honestly, it has to be Kraken because of the theming. But the theming, the tunnels and stuff, and the layouts. And, I like the Cobra rolls, the brake tunnels. That's one thing I like about coasters.
So I guess you're a big fan of B&M floorless coasters.
Yeah. The layouts, too. It makes it iconic.
Right. This question we answered earlier, but for me, it's either Voltron or Hyperia. What is the weirdest coaster you have been on? That's a really good question, actually. I'd say Rail Runner at Anakista is pretty high up there. It's a mountain coaster in Gatlinburg, which is the neighboring town to Pigeon Forge, where Dollywood is. And it's a single rail mountain coaster that runs way faster than it should. And it's funny because in the POVs I filmed, you could see me just get absolutely thrown around through the turns from the laterals. It's unbelievable. What is the weirdest coaster you guys have been on?
Go ahead, Tom.
I'm actually trying to think about that, and I haven't been on anything weird per se, like nothing out of the ordinary in terms of like model. So it'd definitely be like a matter of theme. I don't know, Colin, you probably know better than me off the top of my head. Wasn't there like a weirdly themed one in California we did? And why do I feel like it was at Gilroy Gardens?
The garlic themed coaster.
Oh, you're thinking of the
No, I'm thinking of the mushroom swing.
The mushroom swing, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm trying to I don't know why I thought there was a coaster, so I'm drawing a blank on a coaster, but I mean weirdest ride hands down is that mushroom swing at Gilroy Gardens. That was just wacky.
Yes, that was an odd one.
I think the weirdest coaster that I've been on is Rolly's coaster at Maury's Pier.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, it's a small wild mouse, and the stupidest thing about this coaster is that there's over-the-shoulder harnesses. What were the manufacturers thinking? Pinfari.
I think I would have to agree with Chris, actually. I can't think of any coaster I've ridden that's weirder than Rolly's coaster.
Yeah, it's an odd one.
Yeah, I have two. The worst coaster ever, even worse than Wildcat at Lake Compounds. That would have to be the the Intamin Zack Spin, the Green Lantern. So the most ludicrous thing is that it was shipped over to Lerona. They didn't even build up the crap. They just decided to just scrap it. Yeah, it got canceled, probably scrapped. And that other one at Adventure City Park in Long Island, it's like one of those zipper coasters. Thank you, Fireball. I did that last year. I mean, actually 2 years ago. So yeah, those were the weirdest coasters I've been on in my life. Those two. Very wacky.
They're certainly odd ones.
Yeah, they are.
Let's see. Next up, least anticipated 2024 coaster. I can't really think of one. I mean, I think all of them have something to be excited about, some aspect to be excited about.
Yeah, when you look at the whole country. Yeah, I don't see no lead.
If Cedar Point got a new coaster, what would it be? Now, I think I would say a Mach Extreme Spinner would be really good at that park, but they did just get a spinning coaster, so that kind of filled that gap there.
Yep.
I do think they could use a modern wooden coaster, but there's not really a good spot in the park for them to put that there. But they do need a multi-launch coaster that's not top those two. So I don't know. There's a lot of different things they could use.
I think a surf coaster would be a great one.
Surf coaster would be really good there, actually. Especially if they put it over on the boardwalk, that'd be a really good location for it.
Yeah, and then they could call it Mantis Revenge or Mantis the Extreme or Mantis 2.
Or they can get a family. If you want to go family, get a family wooden coaster like Woodstock Express, like for the kids.
Yeah, but they already got Woodstock Express.
No. The one that's similar to the one in King's Dominion. You know.
Oh, that one.
Those. What's the name of that, Colin? Woodstock Express, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all named.
That would be nice
Woodstock
at Cedar
Express,
Point.
but like give it a different name, obviously for Cedar Point.
Or even if they want to go a little larger, which is really nice, is underrated. Invader style GCI coaster at Cedar Point. That'd be nice. It's a solid coaster, Invader.
Six Flags Clone Adventure is overrated. That is quite the hot take.
Who's overrating it though? Because I even hear from like great adventure enthusiasts that like they'll acknowledge that it's not the best park. Like at the very least, they'll acknowledge that there are better parks out there. So like, who's overrating it? That's my question.
No, any way you put it, Great Adventure has one of the best top fours of any park out there. Like, you're not going to find many other parks that has a top four that good.
Yeah.
I mean, the only parks I can really think of are like Magic Mountain, maybe Cedar Point. Not even Kings Island. Maybe.
What about Busch Gardens, Tampa? Busch Gardens, Tampa.
No,
they got a solid top three.
So I don't know. I mean, yes, there's a lot of clones at Great Adventure, but they're all really good. And then the best rides there aren't clones. So
yeah. Great America has a solid top three. Yeah, Great America's be close.
Let's see. Moving on. Already answered that. What's your guys' opinion on Jersey Devil? We'll start with Ace and work our way out.
A very solid coaster.
That's it?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yep. Chris?
I think it's a good coaster. I like the hang time, and I think the back row is the best seat. I like getting the very back. You get whiplash.
Jack?
Oh, sorry, there was a weird sound. I'd say that Jersey Devil it definitely is not. I know, Colin, you have it like a little higher than I do, but I'd say it's a great ride, but it's not really on the same scale as the top three at Great Adventure. So it doesn't. I'd say it's more of a mid-tier coaster at Great Adventure.
Interesting. Tom?
Yeah, I agree somewhat with Jack and Ace in that, like, it's a solid ride, but of the three single rails I've been on, it's definitely my least favorite of the three. But that's not really to say that the ride itself is that bad, because it's fine. It's just I can take it or leave it.
Jersey Devil's a ride. Obviously, I have a lot of experience with. I think I've ridden it probably around 400 times at this point. I think the problem is I kind of gave myself too many rides on it. Oh, hold on. We'll continue momentarily.
Right,
we have another super chat. Thank you, John Boy 10, for the super chat. Thank you. Will we have a special day or early admission for our bricks we purchased? Also, have any more flash containers arrived from overseas? So for the first part of your question, I'm not sure. I imagine they'll probably have like a ceremony on the day the park opened in 74, which would be July 1st now of 2024. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if they had a ceremony and kind of like did another big grand opening to kind of commemorate the fact that the park's been open for 50 years. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if we got mentions with regards to the bricks and everything. And by the way, if you guys haven't bought your bricks yet, I highly recommend you do. I purchased mine recently. Definitely something I would look to get. You'll be in the park forever by getting one of those. But to the second part of your question,
mine.
What was that?
I already purchased mine.
Nice. Have any more flash containers arrived from overseas? That I don't know. As far as I know, flash track and support should be arriving by February, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. I'm going to try to get whatever updates I can, but that's all I really know regarding Flash's current state. Well, again, just have to wait and see, unfortunately. But at least the off-season's not that long. We'll be able to get in the park and see the construction pretty soon. Let's see. Where was I?
My big question is, how are we getting the replica bricks if you purchase that? I know I got the brick and then like the little tiny replica.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Are they mailing us that? Are we picking it up at the park? Like,
I'm pretty sure they're mailing us that.
I was
They
gonna
did
say,
ask for the address, right?
I think they did ask for my address. I don't know. I got my brick a little after Christmas and I forget, but I think they did ask for addresses. So I think mailing.
Yeah, that would make most sense. Back to the previous question, though. I rode Jersey Devil a lot when it first opened, so I kind of burnt myself out on the ride to the point where in 2022 and 2023, I really didn't ride it that much compared to 2021. But I still think that the first half of Jersey Devil, from that first drop to the mid-course brake run, one of the best sequences of elements on any coaster. I mean, you have that drop, which when you're in the back row is one of the best drops out there. The dive loop, which sends you flying out of your seat. The airtime hill sends you flying out of your seat. The stall gives some excellent hang time. That turnaround element, where if you're in the front, you get thrown out of your seat in the first half of the element. When you're in the back, you get thrown out of your seat for the second half. Zero G roll, it gives tons of hang time. Then you hit that mid-course, and after that, honestly, I think the ride definitely kind of dies off. The mid-course drop is really good, but those final off-axis hills, they really just do not hit as hard as the rest of the ride. So I do think Devil is definitely number 2 or number 3 at the park, depending on the day. But in terms of what we were expecting it to be when we first saw it announced, we were expecting maybe it could even be better than El Toro. Definitely is not. It's still a really good ride, though.
Agree.
Ace, what coaster are you looking forward to riding most?
That's a hard one because I have a lot of parks to go, a lot of new coasters to do this year. Wow, it's I did allude to Top Thrill 2, the Iron Menace, and of course Dr. Diabolicals. So those will be the 3. So it's hard to pick out of those 3.
Just any, like, not necessarily a new coaster for 2024, just a new coaster for you anywhere in the world.
Oh, Zadra. Yeah, that's Zadra. I'm a huge RMC fan, so Zadra will be at Energylandia here definitely, and of course in Japan, I would definitely love to ride Echenika since I love that X2, and Echenika is that much better. I heard it's smoother than X2.
Chris?
Oh, yeah, I think the most anticipated new coaster I look forward to riding is Steel Vengeance.
You haven't ridden Steel Vengeance yet?
No, I haven't. I've only ridden the original RMC.
Mean Streak.
Oh,
wow.
wait, Mean Streak, but but I'm looking forward to riding Steel Vengeance.
Oh.
Jack?
I don't know. I don't really have any new coasters I'm super excited to ride for, except for the ones I'd already mentioned in like Hyperia at Thorpe Park. I'm gonna be going to. I'm spending like the second half of the year in England, so I'm looking forward to riding any coasters I can over there.
That's cool. Tom?
I think that Top Thrill and Iron Menace are the two most anticipated for me. Just for 2024 in general. But then, like I said earlier, I really want to cross Florida off my list. I've been to Disney once a couple years back. I don't even have that part completed. I didn't even get to go on Space Mountain, so that sucks. But if I can get to Florida, it'll be Velocicoaster.
For me personally, I'd say a lot of the Intamins, the newer Intamins, are at the top of my list. So Batman, Gotham City Escape is definitely high up there. Tutatis or Tutatis, however you want to say it, that's pretty high up there as well. Ejinika is very high up on the list. The RMCs I haven't ridden that yet, like Zadra, Hakuge, they both look really good. And there's a lot of really good coasters in Europe too. I mean, Helix, I don't necessarily think it'd be like number one worthy, but it looks like a really well-rounded ride. You have T-Express over in South Korea. You have Dodonpa, of course, which we don't even know if that's ever going to reopen again. So there's lots of just insane-looking rides out there. I really hope to ride one day. What do you guys think of Falcon's Flight and the Qiddiya project?
I saw the trains over from videos from IAPA, and they look really nice. The Falcon's eyes light up.
It's pretty cool. It looks pretty bizarre having 3 per row. Never seen a coaster. I can't even imagine.
No, there's only 2 per row.
Oh, I thought it was 3. Wow.
No, there's staggered seats though.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Oh, wow. That's so unique.
Yeah, it's certainly something. I think Falcon's Flight, in all honesty, I don't think it'll be one of the best coasters out there. I think its layout, in all honesty, for how big it is, looks a little lame. I think they could have gone a little more bold with some of the elements they chose. I mean, believe me, that 500-foot tall airtime hill looks insane. The drop looks really cool, but most of the rest of the ride doesn't really impress me. I think it's more going to be about that sense of speed. I just hope those wind blockers they have on the front of the train don't prohibit that sense of speed from being felt, because otherwise I think they spent 30 plus, 40 plus million on a ride that didn't need to cost that much. What are your guys' opinions on Jersey Devil Aaron? He's not the best Jersey Devil operator. He's probably like number 2 or 3, but he's up there, that's for sure.
He's one of the ride ops of all time at Great Adventure for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, he definitely is a ride op.
Yep,
He is.
he's good.
Is it just me, or does Ace look super bored? Ace, are you super bored?
No, I'm actually multitasking. I'm on the stream and I'm
Really?
watching the football game between Detroit and LA. The second.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing.
Let's see. Favorite hockey game attended. This is probably for Tom.
Yep.
Favorite is probably Game 3, Round 2 of this year's playoffs, Devils Hurricanes. It was like the one where the Devils put up 8 goals on the Hurricanes. The atmosphere is probably the best I've ever felt in an arena, which is great because, like, I don't know, 2 weeks earlier, I attended Game 1 of the series between the Devils and the Rangers, and I was ready to jump onto the train tracks because that game just went terribly for the Devils.
Yeah.
But they came all the way back, so good on them. But that Game 3 was so good between the Devils and the Hurricanes. That's probably the best one.
Did they beat the Hurricanes?
No, they
Oh.
did not. But they beat the Rangers, which is just
Oh,
as
I
good
know.
for me.
I said that Tom must be having a heart attack when you lost the first 2 games. I was like, "Holy Lord, Jesus Christ!" So
I need to
yeah.
go to a Flyers game.
You should come with me to the outdoor one. Get a built-in Joe Bros concert.
Next up, let's see. Hot take: Fury 325 over both Velocicoaster and El Toro. I think it really depends on what kind of coaster you're into, what kind of forces you like most. Fury is definitely a more gentle coaster than those two. That doesn't mean that it's forceless or anything, but in terms of intensity, it's definitely not on the same level as Velocicoaster and El Toro. That's why I do prefer Velocicoaster and El Toro. But if you're into more gentle, floaty type rides, Fury is probably more for you.
Velocicoaster is very aggressive, and it's a fun ride.
Yeah, it certainly is. Let's see. Okay, so my boyfriend just got me to start going on roller coasters. So how do I get over my anxiety I have when getting on them? I'm honestly probably not the best person to ask about this because I don't really feel anything when I'm going on a coaster. My best piece of advice would probably just be act like you're not going on the coaster. Act like you're just sitting down at home on a seat, and then let the rest of it happen. Don't even think about what you're going to feel. Just let it happen.
I can speak to this one a little bit because I used to not be a fan of roller coasters just because I was like too afraid to get on them. I was made of soy actually when it came to roller coasters for a little bit when I was little, but eventually my friends had egged me on. Sounds like a similar situation where I had enough friends egg me on to just go do them. So I think you just got to get out of your own way with those. I think what finally did it in for me was seeing little kids get on Nitro, and I'm like, okay, I can't be shown to be less or like more afraid than these like 5-year-olds to get on Nitro. So I think that was finally that was the final nail in the coffin. So just get out of your own way, enjoy the ride, it'll be fun.
Jack?
I think.
Oh.
Sorry, Jack. Did you talk?
Oh, I can talk. My, I don't know. I'd say just ride them. I used to really not like roller coaster, or I loved roller coasters and learning about them and looking at them, but I didn't like riding them until maybe like I was, I don't know, 8 years old, something like that, 10 years old. But I remember we took a trip to Cedar Point, and I was riding like I rode some of the coasters, and then I rode Corkscrew was like my second ever inverting coaster after Super Duper Looper, and then I rode Maverick, and then I kind of just rode everything. But it was like it took a lot of work to get up to that point of riding it.
Yeah, one interesting thing about me when it came to riding roller coasters, Hydra to Revenge was actually the roller coaster that got me overcome my fear of coasters that go upside down, because before the lift hill, you go through this slow JoJo roll, before you go to the top of the lift hill, and then you work your way through inversions.
Yeah, it's very simple. I alluded to on the interview I did with Colin 2 years ago. You just got to take your mind out of it, out of like being on a roller coaster. Just pretend that you're doing something else, basically. And that's what I did when I got on the drag coaster with my family. And the only thing I remember is just being on the coaster itself and enjoying and having a hell of a time. So I've never had really the fear of getting on roller coasters. But if somebody was having anxiety, pretend that, like Colin said, you're sitting down and put your mind elsewhere.
Definitely. Thoughts on Taylor Swift? I don't have any.
Taylor Swift is folk music because I don't know, is she a folk singer this week? It's folk music for people who think Simon and Garfunkel are the cat and the dude from the comics. Literally the most pretentious music I've ever heard, and I probably wouldn't feel so strongly anti-Taylor Swift if it wasn't force-fed to me anytime I got on the internet or turned on a TV.
Someone has a strong opinion.
That being said, Teardrops on My Guitar is a great song. Like, it's too bad that she sold out of being a country artist because the country stuff was actually pretty good.
I would I'm not the biggest fan.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Since I'm a sports connoisseur and I love the Chiefs because of the great Patrick Mahomes and the great Travis Kelce, that happens to be the great Taylor Swift's boyfriend. So now I know more of her. She's ubiquitous because every time you're watching a Chiefs game, there's Taylor Swift. She's everywhere.
I like Taylor Swift too. I mean, her songs Her songs are good, but you know who I like more than Taylor Swift?
Haley Steinfeld.
That's right. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Haley Steinfeld is a lot hotter than Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift just wants attention, you know.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next question. This one's for Tom. Favorite hockey jersey you own?
Ooh, funny you should ask. Literally, oh, there's no way you could see it. My jersey rack is over there. All my jerseys are on there. One of my favorites. It's probably my Devils red and green Marty Brodeur number 29. It's got the NHL 75th anniversary patch on it, and it was signed by Marty, so that's a pretty good one. I also have a LA Kings 1993 Wayne Gretzky jersey. Has the captain's patch and the cup final patch on it. That one's cool because the jersey belonged to my aunt. I bought the patches after getting it from her, and my grandma sewed them on. So, like, familial history with that one. So I would say those are probably two of my favorite ones.
I don't have a jersey.
Let's see. Colin, are you a Swiftie? No. What's with all these Taylor Swift questions? If she had a season pass, what park would it be to? Magic Mountain, because that's where all the celebrities go.
No, Kansas City, Missouri.
Well, then Worlds of Fun.
Worlds of Fun.
Worlds of Fun, yeah. Because with her boyfriend, she can get on some coasters with Travis Kelce.
If Great Adventure gets a hotel, would they do it on their own, like Great Escape Lodge, or will they partner like Marriott or Drury Hotels? I think that really depends on how everything goes with the merger. I would not be surprised at all if a hotel is next in the plans for the park. I could see it going right where that gas station is.
Yeah.
And that does wind up happening. I could see them going the route of Carowinds and making it like a Marriott or something, but having it partner up with the park. But again, that depends on how the merger goes. Great Escape operates their own hotel right on site, the Great Escape Lodge, and I could definitely see Great Adventure doing that, considering Savannah Sunset is another hotel-like option that they are operating themselves. So I guess we'll really just have to wait and see.
I think
Yeah.
I was going to say that, you know, the Funplex in Mount Laurel is partnering with a hotel that La Quinta, which they built right next door to the place.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely happening. Because when you look at Cedar Fair's track history, look at Cedar Point, look at Kings Island with the Great Wolf Lodge and all the other Cedar Fair properties. Great Adventures is a hell of a lot larger than all these parks, and there's no way they're not going to capitalize on that.
Very true. Batman is the best invert over Montu. It's definitely not the best invert.
Which Batman, though?
I do happen to think that Montu is a bit overrated, personally.
Oh, wow.
I prefer Alpengeist, but I don't think Batman is better.
Montu is great because it has more inversions, and it's not a clone layout, and it has that open gate and the tunnels and stuff, and that painted track, too.
Here's the thing. I definitely don't concur with that, what you said, Colin, because Montu is actually my favorite B&M, and it's a custom invert. Much more than Alpengeist, because when you look at Alpengeist, it's a great coaster. I love it. It's definitely top 5 of the B&M custom inverts. It's slow. If you notice, it reminds me of Millennium Force in the second half. It just slows down drastically, as opposed to Montu. It just hauls right through, and you go right through those trenches of Egypt. So it's a special Montu. But wow, I'm definitely astonished that you said that about Montu, Colin.
Yeah,
I don't think it's as good as everyone makes it out to be.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of the top, definitely top,
Frozen.
top 3 in the park. Top 3 easily.
Fair. Let's see. Next up, Medusa is awesome, but Superman does nothing. I definitely don't disagree.
It does one thing.
The pretzel loop.
One really good thing, and the rest is just
the pretzel loop. Right,
yes.
Tom?
I like the
pretzel
fire.
loop is great. Everything else, not really.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of it's a tame coaster. It's really, really like it's like a kid's coaster. It's true. It crawls right through the last 1,000 feet.
At the very least, over Georgia more closely interacts with the terrain. So at least it has that going for it, but I don't think it's still enough for me to be like really wowed by it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think Superman, as the comment says, basically does nothing. It's kind of just you just kind of hang there, and especially when they're running 2 trains, you just sit on the brake run, and it's kind of painful.
Yeah. Medusa is awesome, and in '99 being the first ever flawless in the world, and it's just such a classic. And I'm so happy that they reverted back to the Medusa, original Medusa, because what is that? Oh my God, I forgot the name already. Bizarro was just lame, gutting it. It's gutting out the music system and all of that. It just got boring. So yeah, I'm glad we got Medusa.
Yeah, it's still a good ride. Agreed.
Definitely. Next up here, hot take: No Limits Luke isn't even that good at No Limits. I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, Aaron, especially because your skills really aren't that great either. Oh boy, Montu is forceless and mid. What do you think about that, Ace?
I don't concur with that. I think that's egregious. And I just, wow, it's a top coast in that park, and definitely the top B&M invert, even over Banshee. I have to say that I'm a Banshee fan, and yeah,
I'm
Montu
also
is
not
better.
a fan of Banshee either, personally.
Yeah. But I'll tell you one thing: you're a fan of Afterburn
Afterburn's really good.
and Alpengeist. And then
Flight Deck's pretty good too.
The Patriot's pretty good too. Our Worlds of Fun. I call them the Patriot coasters. The one like Silver Bullet, the Patriot. There's a lot of those. Even Talon. Oh, and the Great Bear. That Great Bear is underrated. That's definitely up there, close to the top 5. The Great Bear with that skinny line, that skinny layout right over the water.
Yeah. Next up, which is better, Iron Gwazi or Steel Vengeance? I say Gwazi personally.
Yeah, Iron Gwazi.
I've only ridden Vengeance, but I'll go out and say that Gwazi is probably better.
I rode Iron Gwazi, but I never rode Steel Vengeance. But I think Iron Gwazi is going to be better because of how tall it is and then forceful stuff. Steel Vengeance, I just only watched POVs and never got on the ride.
And considering there's no mid-course break, that's the difference maker right there. That's why Iron Gwazi is literally ass out your seat, and it's constantly hauling right through. You get thrown around like a ragdoll.
Mid-course break runs are okay for me. I like them.
Yeah. But not on that. You know, it just takes away the pacing. That's why Iron Gwazi's pacing is impeccable.
Yeah. Next up, hot take: Hagrid's is almost as good as Velocicoaster. Velocicoaster barely beats Hagrid's. In terms of theming, Hagrid's is
theming's the best. Yeah.
But
yeah,
Thrills, Velocicoaster is one of the best coasters ever made.
So. Yeah. You hit the nail on the head.
But it's a family coaster. It can only be so
thrilling. Yeah. You hit the nail right on the head with that.
But there's a reason I rode Hagrid 16 times when I went to Universal in 2021. So.
Wow. There was no lines, right? Because you had that pass. I didn't have that one.
We had virtual queue. So there were 4 of us in the group. We had virtual queue, so we just kept bouncing between phones. I think one day we rode it like 8 times in one day, which for that ride is unheard of.
Wow, that's smart. It's just like with the ADA pass and all that. If everybody has an ADA pass, everybody can ride together. You know, when the time will just alternate. Wow, that's smart.
Let's see.
Velocicoaster is good, so you know.
Tom, you can read this because I have no idea what it means.
Tom, how close were you to Marty McSorley and Colin when you were in Cali? I don't know. If we're going scale of 1 to 10, maybe like a 5.5.
Well, I guess it's not that bad. What do you guys think about the Ace Spring Conference at Kings Islands? 3 days seems a little long for that park.
It's true.
I do think it's sad that we're losing coaster stock. I never got to go to a coaster stock, but I know Kings Island is really good at hosting that event. Though I was able to go to the Ace Spring Conference back in 2022 at Busch Tampa and SeaWorld Orlando, and that still is one of the best coaster events I've ever been to. Really well run. The ERT was set up perfect. A good amount of people too, not too overcrowded. So I think the spring conference coming to Kings Island is really good. I do agree though, 3 days is a bit much for that park. I would have preferred them split it with Cedar Point and Kings Island, do half and half. I think that would have been a little better, but I do think it'll be a really good event for any of you that are planning to go to it.
Yeah, it's just too much. Even when roller coaster rodeo, as per theme park predictions, he is right about that. Getting on that Iron Rattler like 20 times, that's beautiful. But 3 days when you have so many parks, vast parks around the whole area, it's just too much on a road trip to concentrate all your time in one park. You know, it's like, unless you're like wealthy, it's fine. You have 10 to 14 days you could be on a road trip, but who has that kind of cash? You know, to be spending all their time on a road trip, you know, wasting it on 3 days at one park. So
Definitely.
I love Kings Island, but yeah, 3 days is way too much. It just after the first day, like, yeah, 2 days was enough for Coaster Stock last year.
Next up, Colin, will Great Adventure open in March 16th or May? It's March 16th.
Yeah, I saw that on the website.
It's already on the website?
Yeah. And I think he did a video on when Six Flags opening day will be.
I don't think it's on their website yet.
No, it's not. It's not. I was checking the calendar because I'm planning my road trip. No, it's not. It's all blank for 24.
Okay.
Maybe it was on the app.
Yeah, it's most likely blank because if it's not on the website, it should be blank on the app too.
Yeah, I don't see it here on the website. Let's see. Thank God the straws are coming back in the drink cups. Yeah, I mean, I always thought the idea of having a sippy cup, drink cup at amusement park was never really a good idea. It does work well for the metal tumblers, but for the plastic ones, it never really worked well. So I'm glad the straws are back.
Oh, absolutely. Are we freaking 1 or 2 years old? Come on now. I thought about it. And I'm like, I'm cogitating one day, what are we, kids? Sipping out of a cup? No. Get those straws back. You can spill that. Then you spill right here. Have you ever had any incidents, guys, in which you spilled the damn drink all over your mouth?
When I was in the wheelchair, I spilled it all over the wheelchair.
What about Tom, Jack, and Bacon, Chris?
No, but like occasionally the tumbler lids would get a little leaky if you didn't perfectly close the tab. Like, and it never went catastrophic for me. But I mean,
okay.
I don't know. I guess I'll have to relegate my metal tumbler to use at home after next year.
There you
for,
go.
Coffee, things like that. But I mean, both cups are fine. It's just a bummer that we can no longer use all the other ones from all the years.
Oh my God!
I'm sure I'm not the only one here who has like a
incidents.
I never got to use. I mean, the straw, it's okay, but you know, you got to save the environment.
Yeah.
But
I guess a little less
plastic
plastic is good
with these cups. Because the whole cup is made out of the same material anyway, so adding the straw doesn't really add that much to the plastic usage of the cup itself.
Yeah, plus, you know, it can be lost or stolen too and leave bacteria.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, let's see. Hot take: Wildcats Revenge over Toro. That's not a hot take because
no, it's not a hot take. A little bit. Wildcats Revenge happens to be my third best coaster of all time, and Toro is number 7.
Wildcats Revenge is on the top 10 list.
Oh, absolutely! It's one hell of a coaster. You kidding me? It's like mini Gwazi. Oh my God! I rode that thing 40 times. My second most coasters ever ridden. Number 1 is Toro, 44 times in a day. Yeah, back in December, I rode it 40 times when they reopened it. So I had to make up for my lost weeks of rides. So no, I was gonna have that. It was in the rain too. I rode it in the rain and got pelted, got destroyed. On my number 40th ride, by the way, was full of rain.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Got a lot of rain rides, dark rides on the Wildcats Revenge. What a great freaking coaster! You've been on it, Jack? What you thought of it?
I mean, I think Toro is better than Wildcats Revenge, but Wildcats Revenge is very close. Like,
yeah, Wildcats Revenge, yeah, it's great. You got to get on it, Bacon, Chris.
Yeah, I have been on Wildcats Revenge.
Oh, good. Oh, great.
Yeah, it was a great ride, and yeah, I
Mhm.
did get a shirt too. Rode front
Nice.
row, and it was fast, and it had these two load and unload stations, and you have to put your phone in the locker, but the lockers are free, so
That's pretty cool. Double-sided lockers. Great Adventure needs them in all five of the. Well, now it's gonna be 5 rides that have the lockers. 5 coasters, excuse me. So I wish it was all double-sided, like Flash Vertical Velocity is going to be.
Well, Flash Vertical Velocity, I'm not sure that those lockers will be in use for everyone. Where you look at where it is in the queue line, it's too early in the queue line for that many lockers to accommodate the entire queue of people. So I think we're going to have to wait and see when the ride opens exactly how that system works. Next up, here we go. Favorite stand-up coaster? Well, considering Magic Mountain decided to not
Oh
open Riddler's
man.
Revenge when I was out there, I'm going to have to say it's
Oh,
either Green Lantern or Georgia Scorcher.
oh my God.
Green
Literally,
Lantern.
same
Go
for
ahead, go ahead,
me.
go ahead, Tom.
No, yeah, exactly what Colin said. It
Oh.
no doubt would have been Riddler, but I'm inclined to give the edge to Georgia Scorcher, but I would have to think about it.
Jack.
I'd say probably Riddler's Revenge.
Listen, guys, Colin and
You got to
Tom.
ride it,
You don't.
Jack?
You listen. Do you get to ride it? Oh, you got to ride it.
It's a rarity at Magic Mountain getting to ride all the coasters there.
No, no. Listen, you're gonna be jealous of me. No, up until 2021, everything was open, including Apocalypse. And then 2022 with the pandemic, everything just went down the drain. Well, no, 2022 with the management went down the drain. So everything from 2006 to 2021, I got there every time I went. I've ridden Riddler's Revenge, my favorite stand-up of all time, a little bit edging Georgia Scorcher. And I'm gonna tell you, I was so pissed that you guys didn't get on that. I'm like, damn it. I wanted y'all to get on that ride so badly. If I had a magic wand, I would have had that whole park open for you guys so you can get those credits and enjoy it and get to enjoy one of the greatest theme parks in the world. But you can't say it's the greatest theme park in the world because the damn park was closed. Half of it was closed with the bad management. So hopefully with the merger, they fix this nonsense, this monstrosity. I'm hoping.
I rode Green Lantern and Mantis at Cedar Point.
Yeah. You know what?
How was Mantis, Chris?
That was good, actually. I mean, it actually did hurt my legs, but Mantis was actually my first stand-up roller coaster. And I rode that back in 2009 before I rode Green Lantern.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You know what? I rode Green Lantern before it was Green Lantern. It was much smoother. Chang. It didn't beat your ears up if you didn't ride the right way by like sitting down pretty much on the coaster and putting your head out like a turtle. So it's like you didn't have to do all that when it was Chang at then Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom in 2009. I have pictures of it too, by the way, literal photos of it, of the ride, right out the hotel when I took pictures of it. So yeah, that's number 3. That's definitely not my favorite. Georgia Scorcher is solid.
On to the next question. I'm gonna skip past that. My friend doesn't go on coasters, but she really enjoys watching your videos with me. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Let's see. Colin, you got to go to Disney. It's been too long. You got to get on the new coasters. Guardians is great. Me and my wife are massive Disney park fans. We go once or twice a year. I don't know. Disney, when I'm flying to Florida, Disney, in all honesty, is kind of at the bottom of my priority hierarchy there. I'm going to take Universal, Busch, and SeaWorld over Disney any day. I mean, those are Disney bad park, but I'm not a really big fan of the direction they're going in with just shoving IPs in everywhere. I think the original vision of the parks is pretty much completely lost at this point. When you look at Epcot, it used to have a true actual theme to it. And now it's just got, Guardians, Moana here. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And Hollywood Studios is just a giant mess. I mean, I don't know. The Disney parks, to me, they're not what they used to be. The rides might be great, but looking at it from a broader scope of the actual theme of the parks and how it's affecting that, I just think it's unfortunate what Disney has done to them, in my opinion. But I know not everyone agrees.
You know what? Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
What are your opinions on the band Paramore? Paramore is pretty good. They're always playing at Great Adventure, so gotten used to hearing it there at this point.
It's pretty fun to play as Haley Williams in Guitar Hero World Tour, but like have her be the drummer or basically anybody but the singer. That's always fun. But the music's good too.
Any tips for balancing making videos and school? Make sure you get your schoolwork done as priority first. That's definitely something to keep in your mind. It definitely depends on the workload you get from school. Try to find the most efficient way you can for making videos and go from there. Otherwise, though, just keep going at it, but make sure you prioritize school because that is more important.
Stay in school, kids.
Do you see Great Adventure keeping the parachute jump tower?
No.
I really am not sure at this point. We're going to have to monitor that over the off season. As far as I knew, it was supposed to be demoed, but that might not be happening anymore. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see. How many opening days are you all attending this year? I'm going to say at least 2.
2 as well. I'm going to try to go to Iron Menace opening day.
Same here.
I will also plan to get to Great Adventure and Dorney opening days.
You know what? 3. Great Adventure, Hershey Park, and Donnie, of course.
Tom, do you think you're going to make it to Sesame opening day?
I was literally going to say I may or may not be at Sesame Place opening day. If you know, you know.
There you go. How much will rooms at the Safari Resort cost? They go from between $500 a night to $1,500 a night, depending on the size of the tent that you get. Obviously, the smallest one being $500, the largest one being $1,500, and I'm pretty sure the one in the middle is $1,000 a night. So they're definitely a little expensive, but as far as I know, you get a lot of amenities associated with staying there. We're definitely gonna have to try it out at some point once it opens. As far as I know, they should be ready to go for Memorial Day weekend. That's what the park is shooting for.
Maybe if we all pool together our allowances.
Yeah, maybe
we can get one.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
Do the Millennium
Wake up
Force
on
music
Safari.
at the request of a commenter. Is Ace there?
Give me 1 second.
No worries, Ace.
He's getting out the instruments.
He's got to get his keyboard out. We'll go to the next question and then come back. If every one of you pick one favorite ride from each Six Flags park, what would they be? I'm not going to do every Six Flags park because that's a lot. I'm going to pick from my favorite 3. So Great Adventure, El Toro, Fiesta Texas, Iron Rattler, and Magic Mountain X2.
I will go with Toro, Great Adventure, X2, Magic Mountain, and New England Superman.
I only went to Great Adventure. Great Adventure is the only Six Flags park I've been to. So I guess, obviously Medusa, but Justice League is number 1.
I would have to say same answers as Tom, except for Magic Mountain. I kind of like Twisted Colossus better than X2.
Yeah.
Because I had a pretty bad ride on X2.
I see them both as pretty much equal, but I'm going to pick X2 for the sake of this since it's different than the other ride.
Yeah.
Did your leg get destroyed? Your calves got destroyed on X2, Jack?
A little bit, yeah.
Exactly. I was gonna ride that ride 1,000,000 times, but it destroyed my calves in 2022. I got destroyed. I could only do it 2 times. I'm like, oh heck no, this thing is painful. I love the ride. Now as for my number 1s at all the Six Flags parks, I've been to everyone except Mexico. Obviously, everybody knows about the Mexico situation. That's save that for another day. Great Adventure, El Toro, New England, Superman, Lerone, Goliath, America, Superman, of course, over Georgia, the Great Goliath, the greatest hyper ever. St. Louis, that would be Mr. Freeze, Reverse Blast, a little bit past the boss. Gurney, Illinois, the Six Flags Great America, that would be Goliath. That's a great topper RMC coaster. Six Flags Magic Mountain would be Twisted Colossus. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom would be Medusa. Which one am I missing? Six
Don't worry about it.
Flags.
We have another inquiry for you, Ace.
All right.
Filthy and Jay would like you to do the Millennium Force music.
I don't even have I don't even know how to do it anymore. Go ahead, Bacon Chris. You take over for me. I don't know how to do it anymore.
Well, actually, my mom's.
I don't even have the touch anymore.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
You
I
take
hate
over
to
for
say
me.
this, but it's kind of too loud, and my mom's just trying to sleep.
All right, no
Could
worries,
you do it,
no
Tom?
Bro, I don't think.
That's the only part I can do.
There's your
Good
performance
duet.
for the night, guys.
Yeah, that needed that one. Yeah, Chris, you definitely took over with the Millennium Force music.
Yeah.
The last time we had a chat, like last year, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I can't wait to ride Millennium Force.
You better sing the music when you go to Cedar Point.
Yeah, you have to when you're on Millennium Force.
Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
up, after the Six Flags Cedar Fair merger, which parks do you think will be the winners and losers of the merger?
Tom?
I would say any park that's near major cities. So definitely like, I don't know, the Texas parks, Great Adventure, California parks. It'll be interesting to see which ones stay in the chain or which ones, if any, they'll be selling off. I don't think that's the plan right now.
Mm-hmm.
But and we've talked about this before. It just feels very redundant to have all those parks in California, tons of parks in the Northeast. I don't think that we will see all of the parks going into this merger stay post-merger.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard, Six Flags doesn't really plan to like put the lower performing parks at the forefront, and not even just that, like they don't plan to do really much investment at all in the parks that aren't big earners, which are big like near city parks, like from each chain to name a few, like Great Adventure, Carowinds, Six Flags Great America is right by Chicago,
and Milwaukee.
Kings Island, Magic Mountain, Fiesta Texas.
Yeah, all of those huge ones are gonna be constantly invested in by the chain because they're both helping to pay off each other's debts, and it's like they'll in theory have more capital to invest in the parks, but I don't think much of that's gonna go to spreading it equally. I think it's really gonna be concentrated on some of the parks.
The bad news is for parks like Darien Lake, which Six Flags doesn't really like pretty much own it, and then you also have the other New York park, Six Flags Great Escape. Those parks, that's bad news for those, obviously. However, the silver lining is Six Flags America is right there near Baltimore and DC, and then you also have St. Louis in the same situation. I think those will probably when you look at these parks, the land is endless. I took the train for the first time in Six Flags America. There's so much freaking land back there. You can add 1 million coasters back there. I can't believe it's just endless the amount of land they have. Same thing in St. Louis. So there's potential for those two parks. But yeah, the little tiny parks, they something may happen to them or something. They're definitely not going to invest in them. Same thing with the Cedar Fair side, of smaller parks.
I want to jump in real quick with an announcement for the stream. At 9:45, I'll be putting the line in the chat to no longer accept questions. So send your questions in before that line goes in the chat, and we'll be able to cover them for the stream. Any questions sent after the line in the chat will not be covered tonight. So get your final questions ready to go as we make our way down the line here. What are everyone's opinions of Phoenix Rising at BGT? I think it's a bit of a surprising addition. I really wasn't expecting this at all. I was expecting a much bigger ride. I think for what it is, though, it's good that they're replacing a family coaster with another family coaster, because Busch definitely appeals a lot to the families, but I really think the next edition needs to be another big coaster to fill out the lineup more.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It makes perfect sense when you look at it. Isn't that similar like a Dragonflyer? Isn't that similar to Dragonflyer?
It's basically
Dollywood?
B&M's take on it, yeah.
That's pretty cool. I can't wait to ride it this year. I'm looking forward to it.
It looks like a good ride. I think it's
I'm
So
glad they're having another B&M, but I predict there's going to be another B&M over at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg after that.
yeah.
Phoenix Rising, huh? It's interesting to see these family B&Ms going in. And I don't know if they're going to go the Clone It route, but if they do, I think I don't know. There are definitely a few parks that I think could use something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, because of the merger, we won't see many more Intamins for Six Flags. So, I'll let you guys discuss this first.
Good time.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really think anything's off the table anymore. There are certain chains that Six Flags tend to favor, and certain ones that Cedar Fair did. It makes sense that now with all those chains seemingly together, that nothing should be off the table. So I
Mhm.
mean, will we see them frequently? Probably not. They're expensive, but I don't think it's completely impossible.
Yeah, I think it's also sort of overblown, I think, a little bit in terms of people are like, oh, well, Six Flags is never going to work with Gerstlauer again, or Cedar Fair is never going to work with Intamin again. But it's not like Intamin is not the ones supplying them the parts for to operate their existing coasters sometimes, or Gerstlauer, like Fiesta Texas, just bought a new train from them, and I think it'd be shocking if there's really a. I don't think any company has like an agreement. We're never gonna buy from this other company again. But yeah,
I don't have
Mm.
anything to say for this.
Well, I definitely have something to say. I could see with the resurgence of Intamin with well, whatever came out first, Velocicoaster. I call it the Velocicoaster era, and Tatatus and Pantheon. We're definitely going to see Intamin. They have made a great mark in the last 3 to 5 years. I could see that. I'm definitely ecstatic about that. I hope we get them in Cedar Fair, Six Flags. That'd be great. I mean, Six Flags. Excuse me. That's the future name of the merger.
I think that both companies, whatever relationships they had prior that might not have been as favorable as they did with other companies, I think all that bad blood is going to be gone once they merge. I think they'd be willing to work with all manufacturers, given that they're reliable and not break the bank. I do think Cedar Fair is going to become slightly more frugal once the merger happens, because they do have all that debt they have to pay off. But we're really just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, not well. Listen, you're spot on. And when you look at it, the last couple of years, Cedar Fair has definitely done something that during the Reed Anderson years have been very frugal, the discount chain. So I have seen that the last couple of years with Cedar Fair.
Definitely. Next up, will you ride over George's Intimate Ultra Surf during your next visit to the park? Absolutely. Looks like a pretty fun ride.
Oh yeah,
Will
absolutely.
you win in an arm wrestling battle, Ace or Bacon Chris?
I don't know.
Give me $5 on
Probably
Bacon
will.
Chris.
I got
Who says
money on Bacon Chris.
yeah, it'll have to be figured out. I think
I would
Chris
think
can
that you would have Tom versus Ace or something, not Bacon Chris versus Ace.
Why not?
Well, yeah, Tom versus Ace.
Well,
Similar sizes and stuff, and also we both do martial arts.
anyways, Iron Menace versus Flash, who will have better airtime? I think Flash. I think those elements on Flash, specifically that double up, is definitely going to pop you out of your seat pretty good. Plus the fact that the restraints are a little looser than that of Iron Menace. Both rides will have a vest-style restraint, but from my experience, the B&M vest restraints tend to be really tight and don't really leave much room for airtime, whereas the Vekoma ones, obviously I haven't ridden a new-gen Vekoma, but knowing what they feel like from Sidewinder and some of the other, or not Sidewinder, Jolly Rancher Remix and some of the other Vekoma SLCs, they're pretty comfortable, and I think you'll still have some ample airtime room.
I will still say Iron Menace, so.
Just during the live stream, so sorry if I was already asked. This actually wasn't asked yet. I'm very surprised. What type of coaster do you think is coming to Great Adventure in 2025? So thinking what I personally think the park could use the most, they don't have a spinning coaster. and they don't have a proper multi-launch coaster. Therefore, a Mach Extreme Spinner would perfectly solve that issue. I think a ride like Ride to Happiness or Time Traveler would be unbelievable at Great Adventure. I know they're expensive, but it would do wonders for the park's lineup.
And the location, the perfect location. My mouth is dry. The perfect location would be demo in that arena and be back there in the woods. That'd be really nice. That'd be exquisite.
At the green arena, that would be a great spot too.
Do you think
And
so,
I
Kyle?
also think they should
I agree.
get a
I concur.
multi-launch.
Yeah.
Or
Tom?
Giga.
I would
Wow.
also like to see a multi-launch go into the park in the arena spot. I also think a very good idea, and they probably wouldn't do this because they like to use this space for Dead Man's Party. Tear down the Batman Stunt Arena, and I think you could get a really good family wooden coaster in that space.
Gravity Group.
Definitely. Let's see who can get the highest number using the super chat feature. Can anyone reach 1,000? That's it.
I don't even
That's a
know.
good one.
I don't know. We gotta try.
Yeah. My friend won't buy me the merch for my birthday. I think he should. What about y'all? If you're talking about Hollywood Studios merch, do whatever your heart desires. What do you guys think about stand-up coasters? They're definitely not comfortable. I know they are not. I'd much rather sit down, but they do offer a unique force that you can't get on other types of coasters.
Maybe the surf coaster pipeline at SeaWorld would be
Much
more
better.
comfortable.
I would think
Much
so.
better. Yeah, I've been on it. It's much better. And the capacity is much better on the surf coasters too than the old stand-up coasters, which is a nightmare when it comes to capacity. You saw that time when we were trying to get that record for all the rides, 9 kiddie rides with Phil and Ken and yourself, and what it did to us, even with the
Yep.
ADA. The damn thing took forever to load. Oh my God. They only had
See
one
someone
train. Too.
saying Georgia Scorcher is the most comfortable stand-up, and I agree with that for
Oh,
sure.
yeah,
Pipeline
no
to try to
problem
get
with
to
it. Yeah.
ride, definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, George, that's what makes Georgia Scorcher great.
We're going to start moving through these questions a little bit faster because we do have quite a few left. Let's see. Why are other stand-up coasters praised while Green Lantern seems to be hated? Honestly, I really don't know. Georgia Scorcher does get quite a bit of praise, but Riddler's Revenge does get praise too. I think a lot of people tend to ride Lantern pretty much wherever. They don't care if it's in the front or back row. And I have noticed a big difference when you ride Lantern in the middle rows as opposed to one of the ends of the train. It's a lot rougher in the middle, and that's probably why people tend to dislike it. But I don't know. It's a good question. Hot take. Kings Island's coaster lineup is weak for a top-tier park.
No.
I think they have a really well-rounded coaster collection, but they are missing the top-tier coaster they need. Like Mystic Timbers, great ride. Diamondback and Orion, also really good rides. But they don't have like the Steel Vengeance or their Gwazi or their El Toro. They don't have that. I still think they could use an RMC ground up, maybe even an Intamin multi-launch now that they have the merger. A Vekoma would work great too. So
And
I don't know. I
Banshee
do think they need
exists.
their one standout. What was that, Tom?
I said Banshee exists. You were mentioning like all because like Orion's great,
I do not
Diamondback's
like
great, Banshee exists.
Banshee is good.
Banshee's.
Yes.
That's a topic.
No,
for another
it is. No, I
Yeah.
agree. I'm saying it exists.
Yeah, it does exist. That's for sure. I don't think Darien Lake is really gonna get more investment. It just
No.
it's the chain. They only manage that park. They don't actually own it.
Exactly.
So they are definitely less inclined to invest in that as opposed to a park like Great Escape or Great Adventure. So I don't really see much changing with Darien Lake, unfortunately. Phantom's Revenge is very overrated. I haven't ridden it in 6 years, but when I did ride it, I was not overly impressed by it. So I do need another ride on it, but when I
never
rode it,
rode it.
not really the biggest fan.
You're not missing anything. You know, you hit the nail on the head. I got to ride it again when I went to Kennywood, the wretched place I call it. Oh my, I hate that waste dump.
Jeez.
That it's kind of on the solid side, but I get what you're saying. It's very bloopy, meaning that it's not like it doesn't have the snap of an Intamin, RMC, or B&M. So yes, If you're looking for something, just you're not going to be happy. So it's okay, but it's something I'm not going to look forward to riding again.
Right. Next up, have any of you experienced a rollback on King Ka or Dragster? I've been so close to a rollback on both of them. Dragster, I think I was 5 trains away from a rollback. King Ka, I've had so many near rollbacks, it's ridiculous, but never got one on either of them. Ace, you never got one either, did you?
On Top Thrill Dragster. On Dragster, I did, yes. I believe it was 2017, 2018. And it was towards the end of the day in which it was about to close at 8 o'clock. And this lady was sitting right next to her. I think she had her phone on. She literally was on Facebook, and I said OSHIT and all that on it. Yeah, it was pretty cool riding with her. And I said, I couldn't believe it out of nowhere. We're going up, and I was like, OS rollback. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, at least I got that before they converted over to Top Thrill 2. Came close to King Ka a million times too, but
I never experienced a rollback on those coasters.
Next up, Over Georgia is the most underrated park in Six Flags chain. It's definitely one of the most.
Could be.
It has a really odd coaster lineup where they have 2 really good rides, and then the rest of the rides are kind of all over the place in terms of both quality and who they're made by. I mean, they kind of seem like to be the new testing ground for Six Flags. They got the prototype Kid Flash coaster. They're getting a prototype Intamin. They've been a big experimental park, just like Fiesta Texas. I'm really curious to see what the future holds for this park, especially now that they have Fun Spot Atlanta, I think 30, 40 minutes away, that's really trying to build themselves up too. So they're going to have some competition coming in.
I think Discovery Kingdom's slightly more underrated. Granted, Discovery Kingdom doesn't really have that standout ride that Over Georgia has. They arguably have 2. But, I mean, it was just such a good park experience, even if the rides aren't the best. Like, wait times were minimal. They knew how to manage crowds. It was just, I don't know, maybe we hit that park too on a good day, but that was a nice park too. And I think that one gets a lot of unnecessary hate.
Definitely.
It's a nice park. It's definitely a nice park.
Do you think Six Flags America will receive more love from the company with the merger? I'm not too sure, honestly. I think they're not really one of the better performing parks either. They're kind of middle of the road. Like I think it was Jack or Tom that had said it earlier. I definitely think they're going to focus more on the parks that are in higher metropolitan, like a higher area of concentration for population, like around, say, New York, Philly, LA, big cities. I think those are going to be the parks they focus on. In America, they are pretty close to DC and Baltimore, but they have King's Dominion for that. That's the way I see it. Let's see. Do you think the resort will open before Flash? I think they're going to try to time it up to have them open at the same time. That would be my guess, to have them both ready for the summer season. Let's see. Do you think Snoopy and Bugs Bunny can coexist? I definitely think they could. Yes. I'm really excited to see some Peanuts areas come to the parks because all of the Peanuts areas at the Cedar Fair parks are done so well. They all look really nice. And I personally do prefer the Peanuts IP over the Looney Tunes IP.
Yeah.
But
Snoopy's
I do think
cute
both
as
can
a
coexist.
mascot.
What was that?
Snoopy looks cute as a mascot.
Yeah, Snoopy's a good mascot.
Yeah, but you know what makes Snoopy cute? His laugh.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, every time he laughs, it makes me laugh, too.
Next up, thoughts on adding a Aquaman Power Wave clone where Twister and the parachute stand now? I wouldn't be against that. I think if they do that, they kind of have to give the boardwalk a new theme because it is a little all over the place back there. I also
give
don't
it a
really
boardwalky theme.
What?
Or give it a boardwalky theme because it's obvious.
That's true. I do feel like that wouldn't fit too well there in terms of like size. It's a pretty long ride. You don't realize how long it is to actually look at it from an aerial view. I think one of those would look really cool in Golden Kingdom if you start it by where Splashwater Oasis is and have it run straight back towards El Toro. Maybe get the model that has a vertical loop in it too. I think that'd be really cool. If it wasn't for Iron Gwazi, Bush Tampa's lineup would be just okay. I agree with that. Without Gwazi, that park, honestly, the coaster collection's a little lacking, all things considered. Colin, what is your bucket list coaster to film on? Something that's unique, probably like an Axis coaster or 4D coaster, not like Joker or the 4D free spins, meaning like X2 or Egenica.
Sorry.
What's up, Jameer? Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Great Adventure should lease the parachute tower out to sole providers. Hey, gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, make more money, pay those debts down.
Make that money, watch it burn, sing to the rhythm of lessons I learned.
Amen.
Yeah.
Let's see. I love how passionate Ace is about the sippy cups. Yeah, it's a big issue. Oops. Let's see. I have a great idea that the park will probably never do, but I think if the Skyway is getting long in the tooth, they should go all in, get the newer style Skyway, and make a station resort. I 100% agree with you. Something like Disney Skyliner would be so cool.
Wow.
So cool.
I was just thinking about that when we were on the Skyride the other day. I don't know if I mentioned it. Did we mention it? I was like, that would be awesome for us to get the Disney style ones. Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be great.
Oh, absolutely.
What is your favorite floorless coaster? I'm going to say Medusa at Discovery Kingdom, but Kraken is a pretty close second.
Kraken's my favorite.
Oh, that's an easy one. Colin, as you can allude to this, he definitely can remember this. The Superman Escape from Krypton off the Quarry Wharf. That's incredible. That's my favorite.
Ride is so overrated. It's not even fun.
Nah, I love that ride. That's my
overrated.
favorite. I don't know how you saying that. What is your favorite? Wow.
I just said Medusa.
Wow.
Not Great Adventures. Medusa.
Oh, Medusa is a solid. Yeah, that's a good
Medusa
one.
West.
That's a good one. The Kraken's good too.
I gotta agree with Medusa West, and then I'll say that the most boring floorless I've ever been on, also in the same state, Patriot.
Yes, that ride is stupid.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because the operations on it were like especially terrible that day, but that I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Did you get on the boomerang? Did you get on the Vekoma boomerang too? I missed that one. I missed that credit.
Discovery Kingdom, no.
Oh,
Jack,
no, Worlds of Fun. Oh, you talking about the Patriot? When you say the Patriot,
Patriot at CGA.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. There's another one at Worlds of Fun. Okay.
My favorite is probably Medusa at Great Adventure.
Interesting.
Kraken.
I also really like Dominator. Dominator deserves an honorable mention.
Yeah, I think actually probably Dominator is my favorite. Kraken was unfortunately closed for repainting when I went to SeaWorld.
I got a very good rain ride on Dominator at King's Dominion a few weeks ago during Winterfest because it just absolutely poured when we went. So for as intense our rain rides were on I-305 Colin, Dominator gives it a good run for a 22. It was pretty painful.
I have to say,
I remember we got a rain ride on Dominator in 2022 as well. That's
right, yeah.
And it's more janky. Have you noticed that time when you ride the back, especially even in the front, you notice that it's more janky. It's a rattle.
We did very front row because there was
Did you feel the rattle? Did you feel it?
Oh, I was too busy with the rain.
Yeah, I thought Dominator is definitely one of the smoother ones. Honestly, my least favorite floorless coaster is probably Scream at Magic Mountain.
It was okay.
Oh, because it's a mirror image of Medusa.
Yeah.
I do think Patriot is definitely the worst one I've been on. Firebird is not very good.
Ooh, wait, I might have to change my answer to Firebird then.
Firebird might be worse than
I'm calling Patriot the worst because it was boring, but like Firebird is actually painful.
Yeah. Batman at New England's pretty mediocre as well. And I've never been a huge fan of Hydra. I liked it more this year or both 2023 than I have in past years, but it's still not one of my favorites. Rougarou is middle of the pack, leaning a little higher, but there's some good ones. Next, Fiesta Texas Coaster, something Intamin, whether it's a mega coaster, a multi-launch coaster. I think they could use a mega coaster. I think that's kind of the last thing they really need in their lineup. It'd be really cool to see a mega coaster kind of following along the quarry wall around the park. I think that'd be really cool.
Hyper coaster.
Yeah.
B&M best.
Colin, what editing software or computer do you use to make videos? So I run DaVinci Resolve, which is the editing software I use. my PC. You can see it here. I'm pretty sure I have a 3070 graphics card in here. I think I have an i7 8th or 9th gen. It's pretty high up there. I definitely will say you need pretty good specs to run any editing software that's remotely competent well. Because if you have a weak computer, you're gonna feel it.
I use VN.
What was that?
I use VN, which
What's
you
VN?
can download on your app for free.
What's that
DaVinci
called?
Resolve is also free.
I know.
Batwing in America is the best coaster in the park. I do prefer Superman, but Batwing is really good.
I think
It
I
is
brought
solid.
this up actually in a conversation the other day with somebody. I forget who, but I was like, you know what? Batwing might actually be the best right there. And like Superman's really good too, but those awkward restraints just kill it. If you got rid of the awkward restraints, I would wholeheartedly say Superman. But like Batwing's actually pretty good.
They used to have the T-bars. Unfortunately, the tragedy struck at two parks. I'm not going to go into details about it and delve into it, but you know what I'm alluding to.
Yeah,
So it sucks that we don't have the Dragster Millennium T-bars. It'd be so much better, like what originally had.
definitely. Let's see. Thoughts on Cyborg? I enjoy it. I think it's overhated big time. It's a fun ride.
I like it. Great ride.
Yeah, it's solid.
It's one of the rides of all time.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It spins more now too.
If Congo was to get a retheme, what would it be? I still think that whole back area, the seaport area, desperately needs to be rethemed to Pine Barrens so it ties in better with Jersey Devil. I think they could really do that area up well. Honestly, the way it used to look for Adventure Rivers, the way that area was kind of set up, would work pretty well with a Pine Barrens aesthetic too. The kind of like woodsy vibe they had with that. I think that would work really well for the Pine Barrens if they just added some more theming elements, repainted some of the old facades. I think they could definitely do it up well. Are we seeing more family coasters and thrill coasters today and in the future? I think parks have become much more mindful of the investments they're making, especially when it comes to large investments like coasters. And they see that family coasters overall appeal to a bigger demographic than thrill coasters. Thrill coasters, sure, you could slap a record on it and it'll bring some people in. But if you have a coaster that can be marketed for the whole family to enjoy, of course, it depends on the type of park you have. But family coasters are definitely more marketable to a vaster population than thrill coasters. So I do think we're going to see family coasters continue to grow in popularity. And the final question of the night, do you think Boulder Dash will get full Titan track eventually?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think so. I
Wow.
think
It is
that
rough.
them starting with the little section of Titan track is kind of a telltale sign because Boulder Dash is a ride that they have no reason to remove because they can't really replace it with anything. Where it is, where it runs along that hillside, you're not going to build anything there. That's the only ride that's ever really going to be there. So I think they're going to do everything they can to keep up on maintenance. And it's really looking like the steel track on older wooden coasters is definitely holding up as a maintenance-friendly alternative to retracking. So I definitely think we're going to see more Titan track across all parks. But specifically at Boulder Dash, I wouldn't be surprised if eventually it does have full Titan track. But with that being said, that is the final question of the night. Sorry to you guys that sent in questions below. And hello, Brian. I hope you enjoyed the little bit of the stream you got to see. But as we wrap up here, I'm going to go through the list of you guys again to plug your social media accounts before we go. We'll go Tom, Jack, Chris, Ace. So Tom, start it off.
Cool. Yep. So that thing there. Oh wait, are they seeing like the little name tags we have? Are those like? Yes, they are.
I see him.
Okay,
It's the
cool.
other-
So yes, go there. It's active again. So
Other way. You're pointing the
It's
wrong
other
way.
direction.
Oh, see, it looks right on mine. So I guess I'm mirrored.
There you
So,
go.
yes, follow that one. That looks wrong to me on my end, but it's an active account again. Enjoy all that stuff. I have more stuff in the pipeline coming once I can spend some time editing. But yeah, should be fun to get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, my account is right here, assuming I'm not mirroring my video.
That's right.
And my goal for 2024 is to post again at least once. So be on the lookout. I made maybe like one post in the last 7 months of 2023, so I hope to post more than once.
Well, me, baking Chris, traveling and stuff. So hopefully in 2020 there'll be more episodes of Baking Chris Adventures. I'm going to try to start a new series called Baking Chris Challenges, and where I do some challenging things in life, like eat 10 cheesesteaks in one day, visit 10 of the best cheesesteak places, and,
That's
do
pretty
more
cool.
Instagram reels,
Wow.
more TikTok reels, the rest.
Yeah.
And Ace?
Or you can find me on Facebook, Ace Car.
Well, guys, that is to conclude tonight's stream. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to subscribe to Hollywood Studios. We're going to have plenty of content coming out throughout the off season to keep you guys covered until we get to March 16th, which of course is opening day for Great Adventure. But like I said, if you guys enjoyed, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good night.